Coverage of tournament basketball on OH Report continues tonight from Madison Middle School as Lexington takes on Willard in a Division II sectional title. We'll be back with our pregame show right after this.
Schaefer Danhoff Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Willard has the no-hassle environment you want and the selection you need. Whether you are looking for a new or pre-owned, Schaefer Danhoff is the easiest place to buy a vehicle from start to finish. It truly will be the easiest car buying experience of your life. Schaefer Danhoff is a family-owned dealership that still does things the old-fashioned way, with old-fashioned values. Serving the area since 1964. View all their inventory at SchaeferDanhoff.com.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Casasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, it just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Casasa.
It is time now for our El Campestre pregame show. I am Brian Harter along with Gregg Collins, and we are back at Madison Middle School for the second of our doubleheader between Lexington and Willard in a Division II sectional championship. The winner of this game will take on Shelby next week at the Ashland District. And I'll tell you what, this game here I've been looking forward to for quite some time because we get to see one of the premier players in the area in Max Dawson.
Well, I am too. He put on a show the other night, put on a show all season, and you know, I know his father is a great coach, and Max is following with great fundamentals, great scorer, so I'm looking forward to see what he does against a quality opponent tonight.
Willard is the number 6 seed in this sectional. Lexington, the number 3 seed. Lexington holds a 31-25 overall lead in the all-time series. Now, the Minutemen have not played Willard since 2017, a game won by Lexington 80-39, and that was Joe Bedingfield's first season as the head coach of the Crimson Flashes, but they've come a long way since then.
Well, they have. He's a quality basketball coach, and I forget who their opponent was last year, but we had them once, and I was very, very impressed with the coaching staff. Not just Joe, but Dave Hershey does an outstanding job. And, you know the kids are going to be fundamentally sound. You know they're going to play hard. That's just what Willard kids do. It's just a matter of, are they good enough to beat a quality opponent like Lexington tonight.
Now, in their sectional semifinal a few nights ago, it took some last-second free throws by Max Dawson to seal an 82-77 win over Gallion. Dawson finished with a game-high 33. Cam Robinson added 19, Isaac Robinson 14, and Alex Strayer 12. It was a wild ride for Willard. They gave up 17 threes to the Gallion Tigers.
Well, I tell you, and I watched the game, and everything Gallion shot, they made until the last, minute and a half or 2 minutes of the basketball game. But I don't know if I've seen a high school team, shoot as well from the three-point line as Gallion did that night. Now, it's going to be a big difference tonight. Now they have to play a team in Lexington that's going to try to dominate them inside the paint.
Junior Max Dawson is really the guy that stirs the drink for Willard. He became the fourth player in school history to score 1,000 points as a junior. Only 10 have done it overall, but the top 3 scorers on Willard's all-time scoring list, they all eclipsed that mark by their junior year before their senior season. So quite an impressive resume Max Dawson brings in, and Joe Bedingfield says he's the ultimate gym rat.
Well, and I bet he is, and he's a player that can score multiple ways. The other night against Gallion, he did a great job off the bounce where he would pull up and shoot it. He does a great job coming off the ball screens. Willard does a good job of screening for him. It'll be interesting to see tonight, how does Lexington handle the off-the-ball screens? Do they switch it? Do they go under? How are they going to handle Max Dawson when he has the basketball? Are they going to back up and keep him from penetrating the lane? Well, if they do, he's a 38% three-point shooter. He'll just pull up at the arc and nail it.
Now on the other side, Lexington, they come in as the number 3 seed, 18-4 overall. They started the season on a 12-game winning streak. The second half of the season, however, they've gone 6-4 down the stretch, and they've lost 2 of their last 3, including the finale to Mansfield Senior that cost them an outright OCC title. Some people might be thinking, what is wrong with Lexington as they head into the tournament?
Well, you're right. Now, I think their toughest competition was late in the season, and they played a couple of those teams pretty darn tough. Last week, they lost to Mansfield Senior in, I think it was single overtime, maybe double, but only by a point. So, they played some good opponents. They played some good opponents on the road, which helps you prepare for tournament play.
Now, as we take a look at the Lexington offense, everything really kind of goes through Baden Forup.
Well, they have a lot of scorers, but Baden Forup is someone that can dominate inside, especially in a game like tonight where Willard is undersized. Baden Forup is a big, strong young man who I think he knows his limitations. He doesn't step out and try to shoot threes. He is very, very good around the basket.
Which is really kind of unusual because when you think of bigs today, they like to step out and face the basket. He's almost that traditional guy that likes to play with his back to the basket.
Well, you're exactly right. And Lexington does have some bigs that do like to face the basket. But he's one of them that knows that, yeah, he'll face a little bit and use his dribble, but he uses his dribble to get closer to the basket to get better shot opportunities.
So now we're going to pause now for the playing and singing of our national anthem. Brian Harter, Gregg Collins back at Madison Middle School as the Lexington Minutemen getting ready to take on the Crimson Flashes of Willard. And if Willard is going to advance to the district tournament, what are the keys tonight for Joe Bedingfield and his team?
Well, number one, they're going to have to do a great job of defensive rebounding. Lexington is the only team that I know of that has as many offensive rebounds as their opponents have defensive rebounds, which shows you when they shoot and miss, that's just a 50-50 ball. They have an opportunity to come down with the rebound and get a second or third chance. So defensive rebounding is going to be key. I also think they're going to have to find a third and fourth option. You know, we know Max Dawson is outstanding and he can score. We know Cam Robinson. We haven't talked about him much, but he's someone that can score. But I think somebody else, and maybe even two other players, are going to have to come to the front and have big nights scoring the basketball for them to stay in the game tonight.
Now for Lexington, they're trying to get out of this late season funk that they have been in. What are the keys tonight for Lexington?
Well, hey, you're big, you're strong, you're playing against a team that's small. Get the ball to the paint via post entries, via dribble penetration, via offensive rebound, but dominate inside the paint, however you want to do it. And second, you got to contain Dawson. You know, as well as Gallion played the other night, it was Gallion's basketball game until late when Dawson just caught fire.
Take a look now at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Willard Crimson Flashes, under the direction of head coach Joe Bedingfield, they are led, of course, by Max Dawson, averages 24 points a game, shoots 38% from behind the three-point line, and 58% overall from the floor. He also gets help from Cam Robinson, who averages almost 16 points per game. For Lexington, there's a change in their starting lineup. A.J. Young is out. Alex Depperschmidt is in. They have Elijah Hudson, Baden Forup, the freshman, who averages almost 14 points a game, along with Hudson Moore and Baden Forup. They round out the starters for Lexington. Baden Forup was honored as a first-team All-District 6 selection this week. Baden Forup and Hudson Moore were second-team selections. Max Dawson was a first-team selection. And as we look at this district overall, Coach, this is a really, really solid district.
Well, it is. We know that Sandusky has already won up in Bucyrus. We know Senior High and Bellevue are playing right now. Sandusky is a team that is not real big themselves, but they are athletic. Senior High, we know, they're a team that, you know, has a couple of good players with size, but for the most part, they're a smaller, guard-oriented, athletic basketball team. We look at Willard right here. They're an athletic team that has a lot of ball handlers, a lot of perimeter players. The one difference is the difference that I like, and that's a team playing with some bigs. Boy, it's nice to have some bigs, especially in a tournament game on a foreign court. It's nice to have an all-conference player, an all-district player in Baden Forup that can dominate inside. And, you know, from what I see, their size makes them the pick to win this district.
So when you look at what Willard has or doesn't have, the lack of size, how do they match up against a team like Lex? Are we going to see a lot of zone?
Well, it'll be interesting, and I don't see a lot of Willard this year. Are they going to get out and try to pressure? Are they going to play some zone? Either way, I think they're going to have to take away the paint, and they're going to have to check out.
Well, they're already conceding the opening tip, and Dana Shoulders threw it up, and no one touched it. And this Division II sectional final is underway, and Lexington has the basketball first.
And we see Willard comes out in a man-to-man right away.
First shot of the game, no, but Forup with a strong offensive rebound. And Depperschmidt pulls up from the free throw line. Just like in the first game, a lid on the basket on both ends. A whistle and a foul.
And we talked about Lexington's ability to offensive rebound right away. They get 3 chances at it. If you're going to get 3 shots at the basket, it's tough to defend a team.
Isaac Robinson whistled with the personal. That's his first. And Hudson Moore completes the three-point play. Lex up early.
Lexington comes out in a little man-to-man.
Dawson with a tough shot off the left side of the glass. A whistle on the rebound, and it will go against Lexington. The foul is going to be on Baden Forup.
Well, we've only played about 40 seconds, and it looks like maybe they're going to call this a little tight. And again, you don't see that a lot in tournament play.
Dawson camped out in the corner. Now he pops out to the top of the left wing.
It looks like a little zone action by Lexington right now, a little 2-3. I'm sure they're going to want to be concerned where Dawson is as he runs baseline.
Three in the air and no good by Cam Robinson, but an offensive rebound. You see Dawson thought about a long three, but he decides to set it up top. Nice look inside and a layup by Alex Strayer.
I think Lexington was trying to go from one zone to another. Willard caught him in between and was able to get an easy basket. Nice passing, interior passing by Willard.
It's really quite a luxury that Scott Hamilton has, going 6'8", 6'7", 6'4" in his starting lineup. There's the freshman who misses his first shot attempt. And Dawson heads the other way. He'll launch a three.
And that's what you got to watch out for. Max Dawson comes down and he dribbles pretty hard there in his last few dribbles. The defense backs away and he pulls up for a jumper.
Foul was called on Strayer. That's his first. Just underway here in this Division II sectional title game between Lex and Willard. Early 3-2 lead.
It looks like, and I'm not sure what Willard's playing right now. It's a zone of some type, it looks like. Forced the perimeter shot.
But an offensive rebound by Forup.
And that's what we talked about. It's not the first shot that hurts you against Lexington. It's the second and third.
Dawson being guarded by Depperschmidt.
Depperschmidt trying to stay as close to him as possible.
Move inside and a block out of bounds as Isaac Robinson attacked the rack.
Did a good job of attacking, but it's tough when you attack against 6'7" and 6'8" inside.
Well, it's something we didn't see in game one. There's actually a student section across the way.
There you go, yeah.
Ball out of bounds. It will go to the Crimson Flashes.
Looks like Willard's playing a little 1-3-1 action right now.
And a push. And that is going to go. Foul's going to be on Brayton Thompson.
Free throw shooting, both teams are in the mid 60%, which is pretty good, not bad.
Depperschmidt left open for three. And this one will be taken and missed, but another offensive rebound. Ball out of bounds. It will go to Willard. And there you talk. The offensive rebounding continues for Lex.
Again, I think every time they've shot and missed tonight, they've gotten a second chance.
Hudson Moore, the runt of the front line at 6'3".
and he's a football player, well built. You can tell that's not a bad guy to be your runt.
Dawson from 10 feet.
That time Lex switched on the ball screen. Baden Forup did a good job of keeping him out.
Ball up ahead, off balance, shot goes in by Hudson, and he'll go to the line. Foul on Braden Thompson, that's his second. So Elijah Hudson completes the three-point play. Lex now up by 6. So far here in the first quarter, Lexington has really answered the bell at the defensive end.
Yeah, they have. They've done a nice job on both the scores. There's a nice penetration, but not able to finish. That time he used the rim to protect from Forup, but just not able to finish it.
Fogle from the free throw line, and his first bucket of the game.
And watching him last Friday night against Senior High, he did a great job with the mid-range jumper. That was a 15-footer.
Braden Fogle, a 6'4" freshman. And there's a lot of expectation for this young man. And so far in his freshman season, averaged about 14 a game. We saw him down at Mount Vernon, and he had a quiet 14. And what I mean by that, he didn't seem to really force a lot of things. He went with the flow of the offense. Scott Hamilton told me he's been a very good student of the game, and he kind of absorbs everything, and the upperclassmen have really taken him in. And as you know, that can be a challenge when you're a freshman playing varsity basketball.
Well, you're right, but he's played so much AAU basketball. I think for him, he just stepped in, and this is nothing that he's not been used to playing in the summer. But he's a young man that shoots 58% from inside the arc. So, to your point, I think he doesn't force things. He takes good shot selection.
Willard trying to cut into an 8-point deficit.
See what kind of offensive play they come with, what kind of set they come with out of a timeout. Depperschmidt is hounding Dawson.
Dawson has really not had a clean look at the basket yet, and there he loses the handle temporarily.
Kind of a tough runner right there. Fogle was inside to give him a little bit of pressure.
Pull-up jumper doesn't go by Elijah Hudson. And in transition, a basket by Cam Robinson.
And that time Willard just beat Lex down the court. Lex again, I think, when they shoot and miss, they're really concentrating that offensive rebound. If you can get that second shot or get that rebound off the first shot, you have a chance to run with it.
Inside to Forup. Forup out of a double team.
And he just used his muscle right there. That's where Willard's going to have to decide. Are they going to double? But they let him get the ball too close to the basket, didn't double, and he just used his dribble to get a layup.
As we approach the 1.5-minute mark of the first quarter, Dawson with a runner and an offensive rebound. He's fouled, and he'll go to the line. And Max Dawson finally into the scoring column.
And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but he had a good drive, a good runner, which is a tough shot, but he followed it.
Foul on Hudson Moore, his first. And what can you say about Dawson? 25 points a game, an 80% free throw shooter.
38% from the three, 59% inside the arc. And he's only a junior.
Only a junior.
So is Robinson. They have a nice young squad. Nice
Backside
pass.
to Forup.
Nice pass by Fogel against the trap. He just, again, the advantage of size. He just looked over that trap.
Dawson misfires from outside, but an offensive rebound, and the Willard faithful wanted a foul.
Well, you got to remember, a long shot's going to be a long rebound. Under a minute left. Is Willard going to be patient?
Depperschmidt knocks it out of bounds and then greets a cheerleader, knocks her into the wall.
That was good defense because there was a dribble penetration on the corner, and Max Dawson did a great job of going to the opposite corner, but Depperschmidt did a better job of going through the passing lane and knocking it out.
Dawson with a shot fake. Strong drive with the left hand.
That was a good move right against Forup. Again, if you're Lexington, you don't want to let him go to his left especially. He's lefty. Make him beat you to the right.
Fogel off balance. Ball batted around, and Willard comes away with it. But Chance Bassalone with a tie-up, and it's going to go to Willard with 25 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Every time the officials blow the whistle, there's one side that's really happy and one that's not. But I don't know if that was the shot selection that Lexington wanted, kind of a fadeaway there with 25 seconds left. Willard here, I could see them going for the last shot of the quarter. It looks like it's going to be Dawson with it. I could see, okay, they're going to probably bring him off an off-the-ball screen. There he gets a down screen. Good crossover dribble.
Misfires on the three, but the offensive rebound is close, but it does not drop. Lexington with a 14-9 lead after one. You're watching Boys High School Tournament Basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Schaefer Danhoff Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Willard has the no-hassle environment you want and the selection you need. Whether you are looking for a new or pre-owned, Schaefer Danhoff is the easiest place to buy a vehicle from start to finish. It truly will be the easiest car buying experience of your life. Schaefer Danhoff is a family-owned dealership that still does things the old-fashioned way, with old-fashioned values. Serving the area since 1964. View all their inventory at SchaeferDanhoff.com.
Lexington with a 5-point lead as we start the second quarter, and a nice backdoor pass to Cam Robinson.
You know it's good coaching when you come out of a timeout, hear the quarter break, and a set that the coach draws up, execute to perfection.
And at the other end, another basket by Hudson Moore.
I think he just used his muscle to get up there.
Moore now with 5. Baden Forup with 6 in the first quarter. Max Dawson with 5 for Willard. Winner of this game will take on Shelby next Thursday night over in Ashland in the district semifinal.
Willard being very patient. Nice post entry.
Well, they lob it inside to Dawson. The ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay with Willard. Elijah Hudson checks back in for Scott Hamilton. Scott Hamilton in his 11th season as the head coach at Lexington, the winningest coach in school history, 178 wins.
Nice out of bounds play.
And Dawson has it rim out. Fogel clears the rebound. And a three in the air and another miss, but this time Willard actually holding their own on the glass against the taller Minutemen.
Yeah, it looks like Willard right now is willing to give Lex the perimeter shot.
And a foul. It's fouls on Braden Thompson. That's his third. So he's going to have to come out, and Jackson Beamer checks in.
I don't think Willard is an extremely deep team, so they're going to want to keep those guys fresh, but keep them in the game.
You know, Beamer is really their most used sub off the bench. He's played in 19 games, and after that, Levi Shagg has played in 9. Nice basket again by Moore.
It was a great two-man game right there between Moore and Forup. Good defense by Forup.
Hudson kind of off balance. And Dawson with the right hand. He's fouled by Depperschmidt.
We have seen more Euro steps tonight. There was a good example of a Euro step to avoid the charge.
Dawson at the line. As I mentioned earlier, he's one of 4 players to reach 1,000 points in his career at Willard. Can you name the other 3?
Well, I know Jimmy Langhurst, great kid, great person. Nolan Robinson had to play against him. I think he had 900 against me out of those 1,000. The fourth one, though, no, I can't.
Nick Dials.
Oh, Nick Dials. I should have known Nick. Oh, man.
And they are the top 3 scorers in Willard basketball history.
3 of those guys I've been trying to get out of my mind. Thanks for reminding me.
Foul called. And I'll tell you, as unhappy as we saw Greg Galloway at certain points in the first half of the first game, I'm guessing Scott Hamilton might not be too happy in the first half of this one.
Well, Willard, the last few possessions, has been really giving a cushion to the ball handler and letting him shoot. They want him to shoot outside. Look at that cushion they're giving right there. So they've decided that right now that Lexington's doing a good job offensive boards, but they've decided they can't pressure and keep Lex in front of them or keep the ball from going inside, so you might as well give it a little cushion.
Well, and another, they're going to say this was out of bounds.
Out of bounds or a foul? I think they got a foul there, and game's been called a little close tonight. Forup's going to go to the line, or Fogel's going to go to the line, shooting a 1-on-1.
Foul was on Strayer. That's his second. And Fogel looking for point number 4.
Now, as you're watching in the lane right here, watch Forup. He is so strong, he's just going to push the defense in. He's going to be in position to rebound. Good check out and get the rebound right there. But, you know, he does a great job of hitting those offensive boards.
Dawson has it blocked, but he's fouled. Foul was on Forup. That's his second. And it will send Dawson back to the line. This guy's just not a jump shooter. He attacks the basket.
Well, and I think he's really being forced to tonight. Lex has done a good job of having pressure in his face. He hasn't had any good looks. Let's go back to the first game we had tonight. How many good looks did Ontario have from the three-point line? It seemed like the entire first quarter was nothing but open looks. Now, Willard's not getting those looks here in the second game.
Dawson, perfect from the line, 5 for 5. Has 9 points, 9 of the 15 that Willard has here in the second quarter. And Willard hanging around down by 4.
They are, and now they come out with a little full court pressure, trying to cause a little turnover.
Depperschmidt dumps it off to Hudson.
It wasn't the prettiest of bait breaking the press, but it was effective.
And Depperschmidt with a steal, but he steps out of bounds. Or did he? Lexington's going to get the ball. Fogel off balance. It doesn't go, but he's fouled. So Braden Fogel, the freshman, will go back to the free throw line.
Fogel misses the first free throw. He is a 62% free throw shooter. As he gets older, you know that percentage is going to go up.
Second leading scorer on this team as a freshman. And he misses both, but another offensive rebound and a foul. And Hudson Moore is going to go back to the line.
And again, offensive rebounding.
Hudson Moore looking for point number 10, and he got it.
Lexington falls back into their zone. Early on, it was an even front, now an odd front.
Fogel with a rebound. And right down the lane, and he jams it home.
That was not very good defense. It just opened up for him.
The seas parted, and he deposited the basketball. And Dawson answers at the other end with a three.
That was a big three, and that wasn't a real good look. I mean, it was a good shot for him, but, I mean, the defense was pretty good pressure right there, just better offense. This time Willard comes out into a 1-3-1. Looks like it's really a packed-in 1-3-1, but they get the foul.
Went side to Caudill, the freshman. And he will go to the line. Foul on Jackson Beamer, his first. Caudill, one of two freshmen that Scott Hamilton is going to lean on here in the postseason. Misses them both, and Beamer with the rebound. Strong move inside, and it drops for Cam Robinson.
And that was a strong move. But I'll tell you, a pet peeve I have is when you let a player go to his strong hand. And I've seen it tonight where they've let Cam Robinson, a lefty, go to his left. I see it where they've let Fogel go to his left. You've got to force players to their weak hand.
Is some of that because most players are right-handed, so you're used to forcing players to the
maybe
left?
So, but
you
that's why you have scouting
report.
reports. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Try to get it inside, and a foul on Caudill, his first.
Back in the day, that was a non-negotiable. I mean, you let a guy beat you in a strong hand, you might as well, next time out, you might as well come to the bench. I mean, you got to know the scouting report. You got to know the opponent's strength, especially good players.
Hudson stays with Robinson. Robinson spins, and this is going to be a turnover. Robinson doesn't like it. Joe Bedingfield doesn't like it either. We're hearing a few more whistles in this second game than we heard the first game.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's been awfully tight tonight. 1-3-1, they're really packing it in. That's one way to open it up.
Depperschmidt hits a three. And a timeout on the floor, 2:34 to go. Lexington stretches their lead out to 9. And there's a little more emotion on both sides of this gymnasium than we saw in the first round. The Shelby, Ontario crowd was extremely quiet.
They were. Of course, there were really no runs in that game, but yeah, it was a quiet atmosphere. I think we have a lot more people here in this game than we did the first game.
Winner of this game will take on Shelby. That will be next Thursday night over at Ashland High School. OH Report will be there for that, and we hope in the first game of that district semifinal we see the Tigers taking on Sandusky. Sandusky won their game. Mansfield Senior playing as we speak.
And in the first round between those two teams, Senior High had the lead late in the game, and Sandusky made a few plays late to get the win. But again, you're right. That will be a great matchup if that comes to it. The old scissors. That goes back to even before my time.
Dawson with a strong drive inside. He can't get it to drop, and the rebound comes down to Barcelona.
Again, back into really a sagging defense, trying to take away the inside as much as possible. Lex going to show a little bit of patience here.
And a tough run from the elbow doesn't go. Robinson with another rebound.
Don't let him beat you left. There he goes left.
Puts it up. It does not go. The foul will be on Hudson Moore.
Well, if you're Willard, there's nothing better than, you're down 9, cut into the deficit with the clock stopped. It looks like what Coach Bedingfield and Coach Hershey are trying to do is we're going to show Lexington different defenses this first half and see what works. And then in the second half, we'll make some adjustments and, maybe come out with it. Maybe they'll keep changing defenses. But, here they're going to some pressure. And, again, first time they played Lex this year, they just want to see what's going to be effective tonight.
Well, you talk about a resource that Joe Bedingfield has, having Dave Hershey on his bench.
Oh, no question. Varsity experience, head coaching experience, and great gentleman to have as an assistant coach. Good rebound by Willard. They're off and running.
But Lex does a nice job of getting back, and they force a tie-up. And in the middle of all that was Chance Barcelona. Sophomore getting some playing time here. Scott Hamilton having to do some shuffling in his lineup. A.J. Young not playing tonight. Fogle for 3.
Last 2 possessions, Willard has forced one shot and gotten the rebound.
Robinson with a strong drive inside, and Barcelona steps in and takes the charge.
And he did. Watch the replay here. He was set the entire way. Again, in college with the circle inside, secondary defender. Maybe that would have been a defensive foul, but not in high school. That's an offensive charge.
Chance
Good job
Barcelona,
sacrificing.
a 5'9" sophomore, steps in.
And he looks to me like he weighs about 80 pounds, so that's a heck of a sacrifice.
Cam Robinson coming down the lane, and he fearlessly stepped in and took the charge.
And I think Lex will go for the final shot of the quarter with 35 seconds to go. Might as well not give Willard any momentum going into the half.
It's a 7-point game. Barcelona for 3. But a backside rebound put up and in by Caudle, the freshman. One of the youngsters coming through big for Scott Hamilton here late in the first half. And talk about another youngster, an offensive rebound by Levi Shagg doesn't go, and that will do it for the first half. Lexington with a 31-22 lead at the intermission. You're watching boys high school tournament basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Enough about me. Let's start the show. Starring me.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I blow soon, soon. Knew as a child back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my broom, vroom. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom. I'm in a whip, so I gotta zoom. They tryna talk, they not in a room. I've been so real, I'm down to the tomb. They in the way.
Coffee light on the soy milk and gently stirred. Don't forget the sugar this time either.
I'm doing fine. Don't see the vision, they looking so blind. I had my
Schaefer Danhoff Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Willard has the no-hassle environment you want and the selection you need. Whether you are looking for a new or pre-owned, Schaefer Danhoff is the easiest place to buy a vehicle from start to finish. It truly will be the easiest car buying experience of your life. Schaefer Danhoff is a family-owned dealership that still does things the old-fashioned way, with old-fashioned values, serving the area since 1964. View all their inventory at SchaeferDanhoff.com.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Campestre Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Campestre.
Time now for the El Campestre halftime show. I am Brian Harter along with Gregg Collins, and Lexington with a 31-22 lead at the intermission. And there are some similarities between their offensive performance here and what we saw with Shelby in game one of our doubleheader.
Yeah, both teams are, not shooting it extremely well, but Lexington doing a great job of offensive boards. I see the rebounds are 13-12 in favor of Lexington. Willard did a better job late of getting defensive rebounds, but when Lex has had their success, they've just gotten second and third chances each time down the court.
Is there anything to the notion that both Shelby and Lexington got buys in the first game? So they sat and watched and waited, and both Willard and Ontario got to play a couple nights ago.
Well, I know different coaches look at it differently. I mean, Willard has the advantage in that they played on this court. Yeah, I think they would have liked to have played maybe Tuesday and had a couple of days to prepare for this game, but they end up playing it Wednesday. But they do have experience of playing on this court. Of course, Lexington played in the regular season with Madison here being a conference opponent, so they have played here. But, is it a big advantage? Well, I think, different coaches, how they approach it, would like to have it different ways. Certainly, if you don't have much of a bench, you don't want to play too many games in too short a time.
As we take a look at the halftime numbers, I guess the number that jumps out to me is the rebounding.
Yes.
Lexington with only one more rebound than Willard.
And that surprises me. Now, out of those 13 rebounds, I bet you 6 of them are at the offensive end. And again, Willard did a better job late, but early on, Lex was shooting until they missed. Now, the game is not up and down like I think Willard normally likes to play. They're playing a little bit patient with the basketball, and that's because of Lexington's defense, not allowing a lot inside.
Willard also does not go very deep into their bench at all. We talked about the fact that Jackson Beamer has played in 19 games this year. After that, Kellen Cooper has played in 10. I don't think he's played tonight in the first half. Levi Shagg has played in 9. So Joe Bedingfield is really having to rely on some guys who he's not used to getting a lot of minutes for in a game that really means a lot.
Well, you're right. And, I said it before the game. I thought one of the keys was Willard would have to come up with a third and maybe even a fourth option scoring, and they'd have to have a big night. And so far, I just don't think that has come through. And again, that hasn't been their role for most of the season. For most of the season, the scoring has come down to Robinson and Dawson. Everybody else has different roles.
Yeah, Cam Robinson has really been that second scorer that Willard has, and he has really done a nice job on both boards. And as we don't keep individual rebounding, but he has made Willard, it's given them the opportunity to really stay in this ball game, especially in the offensive glass.
And he's undersized. He's 6'1". He's a lefty. Now, a couple of times he's just beat Lex off the dribble with his left hand. Here it's a nice step through with his left hand. And he's just an aggressive, hard-nosed player that doesn't mind going up against the bigger talent. He's quality player. But again, I think besides him and Dawson, they're going to have to come up with a third or fourth guy that has a great night scoring.
Well, and you've also pointed out a couple times that Lexington has made it a little bit easier for him to attack the left side.
Well, I think Lex has, but on the other hand, I think Willard has allowed, especially Fogle, to beat them on the left hand. So, it's just a pet peeve of mine, I guess. I just don't, I don't want my opponent to beat me with their strength. Make them go to something else. And if you allow, Fogle to go to his left, or you allow Dawson or Robinson to go to their left and get to the hoop, well, to me, that's shame on you.
Now, from the last time that I saw Lexington to tonight, Baden Forup looks to be a little more aggressive looking for his shot.
Well, and again, I have not seen him this year with the exception of last Friday. I watched him against Senior High, and I just thought he played a great game. I just thought if it wasn't for him and his pull-up jumpers, Lex would have been in a lot of trouble. So, you know, I think he's a young man. He's when you talk, they're all young men, but he's a young man, okay, as a freshman that's just getting used to playing with these kids. You know, I think he's getting more and more comfortable. I'm sure he's getting more and more comfortable as the season progresses, and he's getting more and more comfortable about what his role is.
That's one of the things that Scott Hamilton told me when I talked to him before the Mount Vernon game about Baden Forup, and he looked at me, he goes, you kind of have to remind yourself sometimes that he's only 15 years old.
Well, exactly. But I'll tell you, he's a well-traveled 15-year-old. He plays AAU where they travel around the country and play in the spring and the summer. So, you know, it's not like a 15-year-old from 20 years ago. He's a seasoned freshman. I don't think he has any nerves out there.
Willard with the basketball to start the third quarter. Down by 9. Dawson launches a three.
And he didn't have a lot of room right there, but he just had a little opening. Did a great job coming off screens and nailed the long three.
Don't look now, it's a two-possession game.
Yeah, it is. And they got exactly what they wanted down at this end. Forced Lex on the perimeter shot.
Robinson attacks, and they're going to call the blocking foul. You can tell the official thought about it.
He wasn't sure what he wanted to do. Now, let me go back and preface it. I said I think Willard wants to force Lexington into perimeter shooting. Hey, as a team, they're a 31% three-point shooting team. That's not bad at all. That's okay, but you can't take away everything. What can you take away? Hey, take away the paint, baby. Hope that they have an off night outside.
Robinson now with 9. And if he makes this free throw, it's a 3-point game.
You can see still defensively they're sagging. A lot of black shirts inside.
That's going to be a foul on Robinson, and that will be his third, and that is huge because, again, Joe Bedingfield does not have a lot of depth on that bench.
No. And, again, I keep saying they got to come out. If they can come with a third or fourth score, that would be great, but it's not happening. It's all the scoring is Robinson or Dawson.
Hudson Moore with 10. He led Lexington in the first half. Baden Forup with 6. And he misses them both.
Nice double screen. Gives Dawson a little room. Misses the jumper, but a good double screen by Willard that time.
Fogle.
There's a good pull-up. He's very strong at that. Offensive board. Not able to convert, though.
Robinson spins and puts it up in. He's fouled and he'll go to the line. That was all Cam Robinson in transition.
And you said spin. And I'm sure everybody from Willard here was holding their breath thinking, oh, don't offensive charge. But he did. You're right. A great spin, a great finish.
He completes the three-point play.
Little momentum going Willard's way. Lex wants to do something. Get that momentum back. And again, posting up Fogle. Good double down, but they foul.
Foul's going to be on Alex Strayer. That's his third. So Robinson with 3, Braden Thompson with 3, and Isaac Robinson with 2.
And if you're a Willard fan, that's, as you said, that's not good.
And they will call a travel
I don't think the Willard fans liked it, but when you jump up and catch the ball and then fall, it's hard not to travel.
I think they wanted to push on Elijah
Yeah.
Hudson. Two-point ball game. 6:14 to go, third quarter. And a foul on the floor.
Good move by Hudson Moore that time. He looked like he had the open 15-footer, but he wanted to take it strong to the hoop and ends up getting the foul, which I think was the proper move.
Well, that foul was on Cam Robinson. That's number 4.
That's big. If you're Coach Bedingfield, what do you do? There's Fogel to his left, rebound by Dawson.
Up ahead. And an off-balance shot, but an offensive rebound up and in by Alex Strayer.
And that time Willard just beats him down the court to get an offensive board.
And we are tied at 31.
And just a sloppy play right there. Ball goes out of bounds, but the Willard fans are excited. They're back in the game, but hey, key player with 4 fouls, Brian. That's
Willard with an opportunity to take the lead for the first time. Dawson makes it happen.
Dawson with a good 10-foot pull-up shot.
So Lexington playing for the first time from behind.
Things are getting a little stagnant right now for Lex.
Long 3 in the air. That's a huge basket for Elijah Hudson.
That was a big one to stop the bleeding a little bit that Willard was forcing.
Lex back up by 1. Dawson, strong take inside.
It was. Now they did a great job of forcing him to the right, but just a better job offensively of coming back with a left-hand shot.
Forup wants the ball inside. Fogel lays it up and in with the right hand.
That was a nice move, kind of a swinging shot, and just had a little bit of a spacing between he and the defense. Got a little offense going right now.
4:32 to go. Lex with a 1-point lead. Robinson tried to force it inside. Fortunate for Willard, they didn't give it up. And Forup with a block, but it's out of bounds. It will go to Willard.
That's what's disheartening. And you do such a good job of moving without the ball. You get a guy that can dribble, penetrate, but then there's big Forup right inside there to reject it.
Dawson for 3. And Fogel misfires, but Forup there to clean it up.
Willard tried to box out, but Forup using his size advantage, gets the offensive rebound, and not an easy putback.
Isaac Robinson tried to pass it inside to Robinson. It goes out of bounds. And a timeout taken by Willard. 3:47 to go. Lexington back up by 3. Willard had a brief lead, but Lexington able to weather the storm so far here in the third quarter.
Yeah, a couple of, again, going back to offensive rebounding. A big 3 that they hit, but then after that, offensive rebounding and not giving anything easy to Willard.
Max Dawson with 19 for the Crimson Flashes.
I'm sure the topic amongst the coaches is at Willard, what do we do with Robinson? Do we continue to play him with 4, or do we give him a little bit of a break? Well, they're going to continue to play him. That young man is so important to that basketball team, but boy, he's got a tough matchup right now. He's matched up with Fogel, who is a player that likes to put the ball on the floor, and you can't foul. Looks like maybe they're going to drop back to a little 1-3-1 action.
Robinson with 12. He's the second option in this offense. And the ball poked away, and they're going to call a foul on Strayer, and that's his fourth.
Well, you said Willard's not very deep. It looks like sometime today they're going to have to go a little deep in this bench, unfortunately for them.
And they're going to call an offensive foul on Depperschmidt.
Either that or on the illegal screen, and it is on Depperschmidt, you're right. Willard down 3 with 3.5 minutes to go.
That is his third. Hudson Moore has 3. Those are the only 2 in foul trouble for Lex. And a 3 in the air, short off the front of the iron, and Depperschmidt chases it down. And they will call a foul as they tried to get it inside to Fogle on the block.
These officials aren't letting you get away with anything tonight.
Fouls on Braden Thompson, so he has 4. Cam Robinson has 4, and Alex Strayer has 4. And that's 2 for Braden Fogle.
Fogle doing a good job of moving without the basketball there and getting open. Again, Willard's been getting some open shots by their third and fourth options. Those guys are going to have to start hitting them, I think.
Ball out of bounds off the hands of Isaac Robinson, and you can start to read the body language for Willard to get a little frustrated.
Well, I'm sure they're getting a little frustrated, but again, because of the lack of depth, probably getting a little fatigued also.
Kellen Cooper, a sophomore, checks in. Dawson's the only one that's not in foul trouble. He doesn't have a personal. Nice look inside.
That was a nice cut and a nice pass to get inside against the 1-3-1. Now it's Willard that needs to stop the bleeding.
Robinson slows it up. Try to go back door, and a foul's going to be called on Fogle. So Kellen Cooper, who only played in 10 games during the regular season, will go to the line, where in limited opportunities he hit 1 out of 2 attempts.
You think he's a little nervous?
I think he might be a little nervous.
But not as nervous as his parents are in the crowd.
Well, the winner of this one will take on Shelby in the district semifinals. Shelby took care of Ontario 70-48 in their sectional title. And right now, it has been a dogfight here in the third quarter. Willard actually took the lead, but Lexington back up by 7 with 2:05 to go in the third. As we said, Lexington really, after a really strong start at the beginning of the season, they won 12 in a row to start the year and then went 6-4 down the stretch and lost 2 of their last 3.
Well, I know one thing the coaching staff has to be happy with, and that is 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers in 2, almost 3 quarters. You can't beat that. You know, that's good job handling the basketball. Now Willard has decided, instead of doing a lot of ball pressure, trying to protect the paint, but Lex has not been throwing the ball away.
Cooper splits the pair, makes it a 2-possession game. Depperschmidt all alone for 3. And Fogle chases down an easy offensive rebound.
And when you play zone, that's the toughest part, is boxing out. You're not assigned a man, an area you're assigned. So it's tough to get a body on everybody.
And not sure where that pass was going.
somebody was zigging, and he thought they were zagging.
Even his own student section's giving him some grief. I don't think I've ever heard the chant, "Who was that to?" Ball goes back to Willard. And Joe Benningfield going back to his bench. Braden Thompson with that 4 fouls coming in, and he's just trying to mix and match and
find a combination. Find a combination. That's been a key right here.
Robinson looks inside. Dawson frees up for 3.
Nice play. Nice set. Nice off the dribble shot.
Dawson now with 22. And a long 3. Forup, though, with another offensive rebound. And he's just too big.
He's just too big, too strong for Willard inside.
4 Lexington Minutemen now in double figures as Dawson answers at the other end. Vogel left open for 3. And another offensive rebound, and they're just wearing out Willard now.
You know, it's kind of a nice thing when you can shoot the 3 because you know your team's going to probably get the rebound.
What does Scott Hamilton see with 18 seconds to go in the third?
I don't know. That kind of surprised me with 18 seconds. Maybe he's not happy with the last shot, and he wants to address that before the quarter break. He does have, you know, all his timeouts where I guess maybe he's used a couple now. But, you know, I'm sure he's going to talk about the last shot of this quarter with 18 seconds left. What kind of a set do they want to get into? It would surprise me if it's anything but a post entry of some type, or trying to get Vogel on the right side of the basket up top and try to come left with his dribble. And if he draws 2, kick to an open player.
18.5 to go in the third quarter.
Willard has been playing a sagging 1-3-1. It looks like they're going to come out and play a little man now.
Hudson in the lane. Hudson now with 12, and that will do it for the third quarter. Lex up by 7 as we head to the fourth quarter. You're watching boys tournament basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Schaefer Danhoff Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Willard has the no-hassle environment you want and the selection you need. Whether you are looking for a new or pre-owned, Schaefer Danhoff is the easiest place to buy a vehicle from start to finish. It truly will be the easiest car buying experience of your life. Schaefer Danhoff is a family-owned dealership that still does things the old-fashioned way, with old-fashioned values. Serving the area since 1964. View all their inventory at SchaeferDanhoff.com.
Minutemen are up by 7, now 9 as we start the fourth quarter. A nice dish inside to Elijah Hudson.
Showed good patience that time until they got somebody open inside. It's nice to get a 6'8" player close to the basket, the basketball.
Hudson now with 14. Dawson in the lane, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. Depperschmidt with foul number 4.
And right now I see on the bench Bedingfield and Hershey are talking. I bet you $1 they're talking about what to do defensively down here. What can we do to stop the inside presence? And they decide to come back with a little man-to-man defense, trying to give a lot of help inside.
Reverse layup doesn't go, and a rebound down to Braden Thompson. 3 in the air by Robinson doesn't go. And the ball out of bounds. It will stay with Willard.
Yes, Isaac Robinson had a good look. And again, I think for Willard to come back this quarter, a third or fourth score is going to have to come through and keep Cam Robinson on the court.
Dawson now with 27. Cam Robinson with 12. Alex Strayer with 4, and that's been pretty much it. Robinson in the lane, and Fogel's going to be whistled with the foul.
Yeah, Robinson did a good job again. He was going to his left, his strength. He was able to protect the ball with his body and went right into Fogel to get the foul and get a chance to go to the free throw line. Something happened to Braden. He's got to come out of the game and
it looks like he
down
took
and see the trainer.
taking a shot to the face. The Lexington fans wanting a foul. It's been a valiant effort by the Crimson Flashes.
I remember
Joe
back
Caudill
in the
now
day,
in the ball game.
we used to make our players wear mouthpieces. It's a physical game out there.
5-point ball game, 6:23 to go. Forup inside, jams it home with 2 hands.
Willard tries to come with a double. Hudson Moore does a great job of finding the open player.
Robinson for 3 at the other end. And a rebound hauled in by Isaac Robinson. Dawson tries to answer with another 3, and it doesn't go. And a foul away from the ball, and I think this is on Strayer. It's number 5. So Alex Strayer fouls out with 4 points. So the first Crimson Flash fouls out with 5:57 to go. They look inside to Forup. And Forup tries to follow his miss and commits the foul. That's 3 on Forup.
That is. I think he picked up one, opening seconds of the game, but has done a pretty good job of staying out of foul trouble since. But here's an opportunity for Willard. Clock stop. Go to the line.
Well, and he fouled the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Max Dawson, an 80% free throw shooter.
What'd you say?
And he misses. Ball goes out of bounds, so it stays with Willard. He was 6 for 6 before that attempt. And the officials are going to talk about something. Joe Bedingfield and Dave Hershey were trying to get the officials' attention about something. So I have no idea what they're talking about. Well, are they trying to determine if it was a two-shot foul?
Well, it wasn't in the 10 fouls, so
Yeah, Willard will keep the basketball. Dawson at the top of the circle.
Good job of keeping Robinson from going left that time.
Nice spin move inside. Unfortunately, it doesn't go. Ball does not go out of bounds. Lexington does a nice job of coming away with the basketball. They look inside to Caudle. And he tried to go back door to Forup. That's a bizarre offensive possession.
That was. I don't think that's exactly what Lexington wanted, but.
Dawson at the other end. He goes to the deck, and no foul is called. Up ahead to Caudle. And Dawson misses.
Now if you're Lex, just stay. Let's get back control of the game here. Slow it down a little bit. 4 minutes to go. Up 7.
Caudle tried to get the rebound, and it comes away to Jackson Beamer. Dawson from just inside the elbow.
Great job with a pull-up from 15 feet.
52-47, 3:55 to go. 29 now for Max Dawson. He had 33 in the win over Gallion.
I think he's going to have to match that or exceed that tonight.
I think he will definitely have to exceed that. We've already seen one Crimson Flash foul out. That was Alex Strayer. Braden Thompson has 4. Cam Robinson is playing with 4. Max Dawson has no fouls, but he has pretty much all the points.
Right. Now, one thing that Coach Bedingfield is doing, it looks, is, he knows they played just 2 nights ago. He knows they don't have a deep bench. So he's been using those timeouts. I think you alluded to it early in the game. Maybe timeouts just to give them a little bit of a breather. Yeah, with 4 minutes to go or just under 4, you'd like to have more than one timeout left. But to get to this point, I think he felt he needed to give his kids some rest, sometimes to break momentum, and so far it's kept them in this basketball game.
Well, Max Dawson has been as advertised with his 29 points. But is it going to be enough for the Crimson Flashes to claw their way back into this one?
His ability to pull up on a dime, like his last shot, is really great to watch. It's so smooth. Hard dribble, pull up, jump shot, and it's automatic.
Hard drive inside. Beamer hit the deck, no whistle. Robinson again spins inside, and Forup with another rebound.
Well, he was able to spin away from his defender, but it was right into Forup. Now with time getting down and essential for Willard, they're bringing the defense out a little bit more.
It's off of Thompson.
If you're Willard, you would love to see Lex pull up for some long jumpers. If you're Lex, you'd love to see them to be a little patient and pound it inside.
Well, let's see who this foul is. It's going to be called on Isaac Robinson. That's his 3rd. Hudson Moore to the line. He's missed his last 3. And he's missed his last 4.
They have alternated defenders on Dawson. Now they have the taller Hudson Moore on him.
Nice cut inside, and Isaac Robinson gets into the scoring column.
You're exactly right. Nice cut, nice pass. Very well done.
Now a 3-point game. All tipped by Beamer. Tell you what, you have to admire the guts of this Willard basketball team.
I agree. They're playing hard. There have been a couple of opportunities tonight for Lex to maybe put this game away, but Willard has made the plays to stay in it. The question is, do they have enough to finish it?
Fogle just inside the 3-point line. And don't look now, it was just thrown out of bounds. Isaac Robinson turned around and thought one of his teammates was back behind him, and a timeout taken by Scott Hamilton with 2:26 to go. And Lex up by 3. Willard has had some opportunities here, some rush shots by Lexington that they've missed, and Willard has been able to claw back into this, and it's a one-possession game.
You're exactly right, and I think in the course of a game, that last shot that Braden Fogle took is probably a good shot. But here late in the game, 2:30 left, a 3-point lead. You have the guys inside that are dominating. You have Willard in foul trouble. No need to force a 3-point shot right now. Pound it inside, patience, and pound it inside. And, you know, they've had success there. That's their DNA all year. Don't go away from it now.
Well, we used to tell our kids time and score. You have to know the time and the score.
You're exactly right. And we used to tell our kids during the summer, even if it's a pickup game, open gym, we want you to know the time and the score. Now, there isn't a time because you usually play to whatever, 11, 15. But know the score. Know the score. That's why you play the game.
Depperschmidt looks inside, finally gets it to Forup.
It's always nice to have that big guy that you can throw to.
Fogle. And it's out of bounds. It's going to go to Willard. Did they rush it?
I don't know. I thought, that's his shot. He's a 59% shooter inside the arc. That's his shot. It's too early to hold the ball, but still, I'd like to get the ball to Forup myself.
Robinson open for 3, and it rims out. But an offensive rebound, and they pulled it within 1. Braden Thompson, his first bucket of the night, and Willard is within 1. Off balance inside, and a Willard rebound. They can take the lead with 1:40 to go. Beamer for 3. Jackson Beamer with a 3, and Willard is up by 2.
And they're still in the 1-3-1. If you're Lex, I still say pound it in. Pound it in.
Fogle at the top of the wing.
There you go.
They look into Forup, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. The foul is on Braden Thompson, and that's his 5th.
And that's too bad. That young man's out of the game. He played a heck of a game, but I thought Lex did a great job of not panicking, getting the ball inside to Forup, and let him go at it. The only thing I would say, listen, if you're going to foul him, foul him. Don't let him finish almost a 3-point play.
Crimson Flash number 2 has fouled out. They are up by 2 with 1:11 to go. Forup at the line with 12 points.
And as big and strong as he is, he's been to the line a lot this year. Now, my question is, if he's able to connect and tie it, does Willard go for 1? They have guards. They've shown the ability to be able to hold the basketball.
I would think they would hold it for the last shot.
Well, we got 1:11 left. We'll see what they decide to do. They have one timeout left. Lex with 2. Both teams are still shooting 1-1.
Max Dawson.
And here's the man. If you let him dribble the ball a little bit, try to bring Forup out away from the basket. I wouldn't want Fogel's man to guard it. Fogel's quick hands.
43 seconds. The winner goes to the districts. Ball tipped away. And Lex, it goes out of bounds. And Willard has it. Batted out of bounds, and Willard will retain possession with 24 seconds to go. It was like watching popcorn.
You are the seasoned veteran. I just stayed back. I didn't know what to say.
Sometimes you just don't say anything. Lexington 54, Willard 54, 24 seconds to go. Willard gets the basketball. A timeout taken by Scott Hamilton. And now, this is really the season for the Lexington Minutemen. They had such expectations coming into this year.
Well, they got 25 seconds to play defense, you assume. And I would go to Vegas on this, that Willard is going to hold for a shot in the closing seconds, number one. And who do you think they're going to set up the shot for?
I would say number 3.
I would think you're probably right.
Has a pretty good shot at getting this shot here.
I would think you're right. Now, the question is, number 1, are they going to bring him off a couple of screens for an open shot? Or are they going to let him have the ball with 10 seconds left and try to beat you on the dribble? You know, because he's so good at doing both. So if you're Lexington, you have to defend both those.
Well,
but
the thing, you don't need a 3.
No, you don't. You don't. But, you know, he's such a good three-point shooter that if you stop off too much, drop off too much, he can just pull up with his dribble and sink the shot. Either way, if you're Lex, you know you're saying we don't want Dawson to beat us. Somebody else, maybe. Not Dawson.
Jackson Beamer set it up with a 3. And let's see what Joe Bedingfield and his coaching staff draw up here with 24 seconds to go. And a trip to the district semis on the line. And the last time out, Joe Bedingfield did not want to risk a 5-second call.
Yeah, that was, I don't know about close to a 5-second, but Lex had that well defended. They switched on some player movement and had it well defended, and Lex being a little bit taller and I think more athletic, you know, they could go after that 50-50 ball.
Max Dawson with 29 points. Lexington has 4 players in double figures. They've really spread it out offensively.
Now, I have not seen Willard this year. I have a former assistant coach right next to me, Dave Wilkie, who always loves the back door. I could see Willard
He's
right
throwing
now.
up a play right now.
Well, he's calling 2 down, which I think everybody in Crawford County and Richland County runs. I could see Willard running maybe a little backdoor action late in the I want to say shot clock, but late in the play clock. But first, you got to get the ball inbounds without a timeout.
And it's taken away by Fogel. And Fogel slams it home at the other end. And then a steal, and that could have been Willard's opportunity right there.
That was, and it was the same thing in the possession out of bounds before. Lex switched it, and if you're going to throw a 50-50 ball, that's advantage Lex.
Braden Fogel just went up with his athletic ability and just snatched that away. Hudson Moore to the line. And if you're Willard, this is the guy you want at the line.
And it is a 1-and-1.
He misses. And Willard with the basketball. And it's going to be tied up. They're going to call a foul on Forup. That's personal number 4 on Baden Forup. And they're going to march to the other end and shoot free throws.
And these are crucial free throws by a veteran, but only shoots 63% from the line. And you figure it's going to be tough for Willard to get an offensive rebound if there is a miss.
He is 5 of 7 on the night from the line.
Money.
This could be Willard's season right here.
Well, if he does make it, Lex has a lot of time left to get a shot up.
We are tied again at 56. Lexington with the ball, 10 seconds to go. Fogel in the lane, he's fouled, he'll go to the line.
And that was a good option. I think Braden Fogel is the best player Lex has to be able to beat you off a dribble.
The foul was on Jackson Beamer, only his second.
But it does give him 2 opportunities.
A 62% free throw shooter. And he makes the first one. Still plenty of time for Willard.
Well, there is. Now if you're Lex, you want to put someone right next to Dawson. There you go. Right next to Dawson.
Lex up by 2. Dawson, 4 seconds to go. Dawson for 3, and that will do it. Lexington holds on, and they will advance to the district semifinals to take on the Shelby Whippets. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.
Schaefer Danhoff Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Willard has the no-hassle environment you want and the selection you need. Whether you are looking for a new or pre-owned, Schaefer Danhoff is the easiest place to buy a vehicle from start to finish. It truly will be the easiest car buying experience of your life. Schaefer Danhoff is a family-owned dealership that still does things the old-fashioned way, with old-fashioned values. Serving the area since 1964. View all their inventory at SchaeferDanhoff.com.
are back at Madison Middle School, where Lexington has won a sectional championship, defeating Willard 58-56. And unlike the first game, this game was not for the faint of heart down the stretch.
No, it wasn't. It looked like Lex was going to put the game away, but Willard just kept battling, and lo and behold, next thing you know, Willard's got a 2-point lead with 20, 25, 30 seconds to go, somewhere inside there. And Forup knocks down a couple of big free throws, and then Fogel with the big steal and the out of bounds.
Well, I tell you what, talk about what Willard was not able to do in that last possession. They were forced to call a timeout.
Right.
Then they actually threw the ball away on the second one. What did you see that just really did not give them the ability to get the ball in bounds?
Well, it just looked like Lex switched, kind of almost like Lex knew what was coming on, and they were taking away anything inside and made the inbounder, which was Max Dawson, throw it up towards midcourt. And when you throw it up towards midcourt to with a player like Fogel, who's an outstanding athlete and a wide receiver in football, you could say a 50-50 ball, but it was more like a 70-30 Fogel's advantage. And he just came down with it. From there, he takes it to the hole, gets fouled, and makes his free throws.
Well, as we take a look at the final numbers, the number that really jumps out to me is Willard was able to out-rebound Lexington.
That is amazing. If you would have told me before the game that Willard would out-rebound Lexington, I would say that Willard would win. But certainly that's what kept them in the game. Go back to the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game, and Lexington couldn't make a first shot, but they would get second and third attempts. Well, from there, Willard did a much, much better job of defensive rebounding. But, yeah, that really shocks me that they won the rebounding battle. But with that being said, Lexington was able to get 14 offensive rebounds, and that's what kept them in it. Or I think that's their strength. Willard was able to get 13 offensive rebounds, and that was big for them.
And Lexington only turned the ball over 6 times.
Yeah, they did. Until late in the game, did Willard really give a lot of pressure, but Lex didn't have any unforced turnovers. They took care of the basketball, and you take care of the basketball, you have a chance every night.
So now you have had the opportunity to see who is going to play in this district semifinal next week between Shelby and Lexington. How do you think this matchup could play out?
Well, again, if I had to put money on the game or had to say one side, I'm going to take Lex because of their inside strength. I didn't see Shelby with the ability to come out and pressure the teams that I saw them play, certainly not tonight, and cause turnovers. And I just don't think they can stack up inside with Lexington. And though Bruckstatter is good and Shelby's got some good players, Dawson was not able to do it himself tonight by himself.
Lexington, to me, is also the more balanced team. They were able to put 4 guys in double figures tonight. Baden Forup had really kind of a quiet night offensively for him with 14, but he also grabbed 12 rebounds. Elijah Hudson had 14, Hudson Moore had 10, and Braden Fogel, the freshman, had 15, including the big dunk at the end, along with the huge steal. So they, to me, have a little bit more balance than a team like Shelby. But it should be a very entertaining game to watch.
Well, it should be. I think the first time around it was entertaining. It was close. But, again, who's having a better night? Who does a better job between now and next Thursday in preparing? Heck, the 2 teams just played a week and a half ago. So they have a good game. They know what the other team can do. So who prepares and comes out and executes the best in these 5 days leading up to the game?
We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with our Steak and Shake player of the game right after this.
Schaefer Danhoff Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Willard has the no-hassle environment you want and the selection you need. Whether you are looking for a new or pre-owned, Schaefer Danhoff is the easiest place to buy a vehicle from start to finish. It truly will be the easiest car buying experience of your life. Schaefer Danhoff is a family-owned dealership that still does things the old-fashioned way, with old-fashioned values. Serving the area since 1964. View all their inventory at SchaeferDanhoff.com.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Casasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Casasa.
Time now for our Steak and Shake player of the game, and this is not Baden Forup. This is Scott Hamilton, the head coach of the Lexington Minutemen, and obviously a big play at the end of the game by Baden. Talk about what you saw in that timeout when they were able or not able to get the ball in bounds.
Well, it was one of the things that we worked on was, trying to defend them the best that we could, and so we worked on changing our defenses a little bit and making sure that we kind of kept them off guard. I mean, I guess that's what we were looking to do. So when they called that timeout on the first one, then we switched our defense a little bit, and we knew that the ball was going to be coming back to Dawson. So we just tried to defend him the best that we could. And we've had a couple of situations throughout the year dealing with Forup for one, and Elijah, and even Alan Hudson. Just being able to get a hand, get in that passing lane. That's not normally what we do. We normally don't look to deny passes. But, just jumping there at key moments. And we saw it with Forup a couple of times. Elijah had one or two during the game. And it just worked out for Forup. We were looking to get nothing but layups towards the end of the game just to try to control the clock and make sure we had high percentage shots. And, he listened pretty well, got that steal, and made us a layup.
Well, you know that despite the fact you guys were the higher seed and all of that stuff, that Willard was going to come out and give you their best shot.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, coming in here and watching the games on Wednesday night, you saw a 10 seed take a 6 seed right down to the wire. You saw Clear Fork and Ontario go right down to the last minute. Even the games over in Bucyrus were tight at some point. So we knew that this district was very tough top to bottom. It wasn't a top-heavy district at all. And, they concern me. They've got a couple of very good players, and they have a very good supporting cast. And then they have an outstanding coaching staff that does a tremendous job with those guys. And I can't tell you how difficult it is to prepare for a Bedingfield Hershey squad. There's no doubt about it. And, they really did some things that took us out of our game too. But, just one of those. And when you get into a tight game like this and it goes right down to the last play, if you've got to defend a player like Dawson, he's always going to give his team a chance. Luckily for us, playing a guy like Denbo over the years, Sterry, things like that, we can kind of relate to it a little bit and how we tried to defend it. So, in some ways we got out of here with a win. We're lucky to get away. But that's tournament basketball right now, and we get to go in the gym tomorrow and keep working.
Now, we knew that Dawson was probably going to get his points, but I thought you guys played incredibly balanced offensively, putting 4 guys in double figures.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that, we want to do is we want to try to share the ball a little bit. We think that this year compared to, say, last year, we've got weapons that can score from different spots on the floor, but it all does start inside the paint. It starts with Baden. So if we can get him going, and then the rebounding, we've got the size, we should be able to crash the boards, which I thought, we did a nice job tonight. Second chance points, 21. That's just something that we want to do is kind of spread that ball around. And I think that once we get one guy going and the team focuses on him, double teams, Baden hasn't seen as many double teams this year because we've got those extra scoring opportunities from guys. So it's a luxury that you don't always have. And, right now we're knocking down shots, and hopefully we can continue that.
Now, I saw Baden down against Mount Vernon, and it just seemed like he kind of took what the defenses would give to him. Tonight, he seemed to look a little bit more for his shot at the offensive end.
He's played a lot of basketball at a very high level, and what he's learning this year for 23 games now is just how to play with these guys. These aren't his classmates. They're not guys that he grew up playing with, and they're not guys, on the AAU tour, if you want to talk about that, that, do specific things. So he's learned in 22, 23 games now how to play with these guys and, what to expect from them and this and that. And I think he's becoming more aggressive. He's more comfortable in his role and what he's doing. And so are the guys. So they're getting into position as well. One of the things he does extremely well is his rebounding. but the ability to have a 6'4" guy along with Hudson Moore at 6'3", to have those guys be able to take care of the ball and help with a little ball handling is a huge factor.
Well, having Max Dawson out of the way, now you have another player in District 6 who is one of the best players. Well, he's the player of the year in Alex Bruscotter, and you got to face him next week.
Absolutely. I mean, and like I mentioned in the OCC, you have guys like Roller down in Mount Vernon. You've got Sterry, over at Ashland. So we've faced these teams like this before that have these very, very outstanding players, very tough matchups for us. And we'll take tomorrow, we'll focus on some things on us, and then next week we'll get after it to defend those guys. We're going to throw the first game out. We get no points from that whatsoever. We got to dig in and get ready for a district semifinal.
Congratulations on a sectional title, and good luck next week.
Thank you very much.
Scott Hamilton, the head coach of the Lexington Minutemen. We'll be back to wrap it up after this.
Schaefer Danhoff Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Willard has the no-hassle environment you want and the selection you need. Whether you are looking for a new or pre-owned, Schaefer Danhoff is the easiest place to buy a vehicle from start to finish. It truly will be the easiest car buying experience of your life. Schaefer Danhoff is a family-owned dealership that still does things the old-fashioned way, with old-fashioned values. Serving the area since 1964. View all their inventory at SchaeferDanhoff.com.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Casasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, it just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Casasa.
Welcome to our El Campestre post-game show. I am Brian Harter along with Gregg Collins, and Lexington escapes with a 2-point win. Talk about a flair for the dramatic. It took a turnover off of an inbounds play, but that's what good teams do. They find a way to win.
Well, you're exactly right. And Fogel makes the play and goes down and gets fouled and converts the 2 free throws, which, is not easy for anybody, let alone a freshman. But converts the 2 free throws. Then I was more impressed with the defensive effort coming down, getting a hand up. You knew who was going to shoot it. You knew it was going to be Dawson. But they got a hand up, they got pressure, and, forced a tough shot.
I thought Scott Hamilton made an interesting comment about talking about players like Dawson and Bruscotter. He says playing in the OCC has really kind of prepared them for playing players of that caliber week in and week out.
Well, the OCC is a good league. I don't know if I've seen anybody as good as Dawson, at least scoring-wise. But, certainly when you play in the Ohio Cardinal Conference, you get tested. So that does prepare you for the big games, and I think that's going to prepare them for the district coming up.
Well, and it just gets bigger from here on out. The
Yep.
sectionals are behind them, and he even told me, he said the first matchup against Shelby doesn't matter. You have to go in and you have to get ready because, you know, they're going to throw new things at you. You don't know what you're going to see next Thursday night.
Well, you know, I'll be surprised if there's a lot of new things. I mean, both teams are coming with a lot of success. Yeah, you have 4 or 5 days to prepare, but
You do what got you here.
yeah, exactly. I mean, are you going to change a lot between now and next week and trying to beat an opponent? I mean, I'm sure, and without seeing the game but seeing the score, it came down to just a few possessions either way that it went Lexington's way. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see. I still think Lexington's size is a big difference that's going to be trouble for everybody in the district.
Well, with the win, Lexington is now 19-4. And the Minutemen advance to play Shelby in next week's district tournament at Ashland. Willard ends the season 15-9. The final score tonight, Lexington 58 and Willard 56. Our thanks to tonight's broadcast team. Our producer was Adam Thompson, and the fine camera work courtesy of Mason Neese. Most of all, our thanks to you for joining us. Once again, the final score, Lexington 58 and Willard 56. For Gregg Collins, I'm Brian Harter. So long from Madison.